will be coming in too.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah. So it looks like we're live now.
Okay.
We were just talking about kids and stuff like that. So I'm a little late, but I'm glad that we're here. So yeah, I'm already getting here. You're late, Clint.
Oh no.
Yeah. See,
Rolling.
I know.
Damn.
So it's 8:11. Am I early? Is Clint gay? I mean late, or are we in a different time zones? I'm a little late. Yeah, and I was thinking I was gonna go. I appreciate you accommodating me because I was gonna go a half hour early, and I was like, I need to bump it back.
Yeah.
And then I still ended up being another 10 minutes late, something like that. So, but we're here. So
it's all good.
yeah, it'll be good. So appreciate everyone coming. I realize that Ethan's streaming right now, and there are people watching. Always watching a little bit, and always find it funny when my name gets brought up in the chat.
In Ethan's chat?
Yeah, just random people talking. I was just like, why? It's like weird. It's like it's like eavesdropping. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just looking at the chat, and then it's all of a sudden people are bringing me up, and I'm like, why?
Strange feeling.
I know. It's weird. Oh well, it is what it is. Let me share the screen here while we're at it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So,
right. Fatal. Oh, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, and we're gonna look at Wirehead as well as a brand new campaign. But yeah, here's an update. I'm gonna refresh it because I had it open earlier today, so kind of cheating. But there we go. There's the current number.
Very nice.
Yeah, like $448.
Wow.
My math is correct, and we'll be at 75,000, and that's that stretch goal. So everyone will get a book plate in here. Was a good idea. I think I stole that one. And everyone will get a sticker, and everyone will get a bookmark. I had to get all that straight. So that'll happen here really soon. And then 80K is the next leap that we're going for. Only 3 days left.
3 days left, man. That's crazy.
Oh, 3 days.
It's
weird because it's like campaigns feel like they, especially this one has been twice as long as ones I've done. So it feels like forever. And at the same time, it's like, oh, that went quick. I don't know. It's just weird. At the end, it feels like it went quick, but during
it's like this year. It's the slowest year, but it's also moving fast. That's how a campaign is.
Yeah, it's been what a weird year.
Oh, dude, forget it.
And insane. The assumption is that 2021 it'll be a normal year, but there's no
normal.
There's no guarantees. We have no idea what's going to happen. So
yeah, it's so true. That's why we just make comics and vent.
yeah, you just I don't know, got to roll with it, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's Fatal. We'll check in on that again. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir a little bit. But here we are. We're streaming wherever we can be streaming. So
that's right.
Here's Wirehead, brand new campaign.
Oh my god, I'm already in that like stress mode.
So you're still in the first 2 days, right? First 48 hours.
It's like a day and a half, a little bit more than a day and a half. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Well, you got 2,500 over 2,500 so far. Still plenty of time.
True. Absolutely.
We looked at this a little bit last week. I can't believe it's been a week. Now that feels like a long time ago.
It does. Isn't that weird? That feels a while ago. That really does.
It was exactly a week ago. Yeah, we looked at this campaign before it launched. Pretty cool. I don't think I've backed this yet. I'm gonna secretly check here. I don't think I have. So if I haven't, I'm gonna do so tonight.
Oh, wonderful.
But I'm looking forward to it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Wirehead, and we'll kind of get into the stream and
sure. It is an homage to those slasher films that we all grew up with. I'm a big fan of Halloween, Friday the 13th, obviously. What's his name? Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger was always my favorite because of the fantastical elements, which we can talk about later. Like the different types of slashers and the how they evolved. But the Terminator was the one that was a big inspiration for me because I always found that film to be almost like a slasher. The first Terminator. So I imagine, like, what if you take, that's a new page from last week. So,
oh my.
Yeah.
Splurk. What a
Yeah.
great sound effect.
Right. So like, we need to show, let the readers and the future backers understand that this is going to be hell for these teenagers. So
Yeah, this is what a little taste of what they're getting into.
right, exactly. Resident Antagonist said same with the first Predator. I agree, absolutely. So they have that slasher vibe, and I wanted to take some kind of robotic creature and make him the villain or the stalker. And we have Ryan Wynn's print now at the end added, which is part of the featured perk. So that's my print there, and then now Ryan did one, which I thought was awesome.
Sweet.
It's got like that They Live kind of vibe. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Those wide open eyes just staring into your soul is
exactly.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
I like that. This one is so cool too.
Thanks.
This is yours, right?
That's mine. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
There's
something with the color scheme. You do the red in afterward, like digitally. Is that how you do this?
Yeah, and then I put in screen tone, texture, and stuff like that on the character.
That's cool. But this is original, or this is traditional ink?
Yes, all traditional. Yeah, that's I believe cool. Ryan works in Procreate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's yeah, very cool. Cool campaign, cool t-shirts, lots of cool stuff.
Yep. Commission gallery and all that stuff. So yeah, just the idea of this robotic killer that you can't like bite it to make it stop when it's squeezing your head. It's just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it till eventually your head pops. So that was really the vibe I wanted to go for. That always scared me as a kid. There was a movie called, I think it was Death Machine. I think it was Stephen Norrington who directed. It was like a kind of a B movie thing. Brad Dourif is like the villain, and it's basically this chomping dog. It's like a dog robot. It's really weird and horrific looking, and it bites these people's legs, but it's not a dog where you can bang on its head to make it stop, and it just continues to clench almost like a bulldozer. So I was like, God, like that just creeps me out. There's no pain receptors. So that's what I wanted to kind of instill in Wirehead. He's this being that feels no pain. He's not going to stop when he grabs you. So that's it.
Yeah, and so that kind of gets into a little bit of the horror stuff.
Yeah,
in that they're different antagonists, I guess. Really, it's like fears almost. There's different fears, and something like Wirehead almost reminds me of Alien as well, where the assumption is that there's not, it doesn't care about you. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
absolutely.
It's not. I don't know the story to Wirehead, but no, it's not there for like retribution or some kind of an emotional, like, I'm going to get you back for what you did. I know you did last summer or whatever. Like it's not any of that, but it's what is scary about it is that it doesn't care. Total disregard. It's just moving along its program or instinct or whatever.
Right. That's it. And it has one motivation. So it's in essence like Alien, it's the perfect killing machine. But what's really creepy with Wirehead is that he was initially, and we find this out later on, that he was designed to serve. So his programming is all messed up. So when he does in fact kill, he's still saying things. I like imagine like he's still squeezing your head till you feel it's going to burst, but he's still saying, "Please remain calm."
It's creepy. It's like I think of like Big Hero 6 robot,
right?
Are you satisfied with your care? Well, but it's murdering you at the same time.
Yes, that's exactly it. So it's just that idea, like, do you require my assistance? And meanwhile, he's like, it's like, so I wanted that kind of juxtaposition of saying things that's, supposed to relax you and serve you. But in essence, he's ending your life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's creepy. That's a really creepy thought. Looks really cool on Indiegogo. I pasted it into the description, and it's also in the chat right now. So feel free to spam that and back it for sure. Same with Fatal. I'll post the link as well.
Yeah,
so we're running out of time. What, and the thing is, and people are always asking, are you going to go in demand? Yeah, we're going to do in demand, but I will say that this book is further along than I normally am at this stage.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
this is not going to take as long as it would as it has for Downcast previously for the last 2 books to get finished and get out there. So there's a thought. The other thing too is it does help us when you get in. I think what I'm going to do is I might change up these tiers so that you're not getting yours signed if you back afterward. And part of that is just to make it special for those people who are backing during the campaign, because it really is a massive help to us if you back while the campaign is live. So that might be a good idea. I'm thinking, considering a few other things too. Anyway, who hears this? Or yeah, don't you know, Clint? Time is a man-made construct. I guess it is.
I guess not according to Indiegogo, though. That's the only unfortunate thing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it becomes real when they're like, okay, well, you get money for everything you earned up to this point. The rest of it, we're just going to keep.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes a difference. So anyway, we'll look at that. So into horror, is horror I've read Blood Realm. I need to finish it, but I've read most of it. I read volume 1.
Okay. They get very different later on.
I'm excited, and part of me is I'm like, I think what I'm going to do is I'll just back the tier that includes it, so that way I just get caught up on everything.
Oh, okay, sure.
But I also, like you had mentioned, you were going to get you were going to do some big fat hardback sometime. I want to get that. I think that would be really fun. So when that happens, I would definitely want to get in on that.
Oh, great. Once everything wraps, we're going to do that big thick tome with all the volumes in one.
Yeah, that'll be sweet, I think.
I can't wait for that.
So fun. I've been looking at hardback books lately. I'll kind of go back and forth. Generally, I always get graphic novels just because it seems like you get more for your money. And I like the reading format where you can binge through it a little bit quicker. But the collecting aspect, it is really fun to have single issues. So I kind of there's things I like about both. But I don't have really any true omnibuses. Omnibuses. I don't know how you're supposed to say it.
Receipts.
I'll go with that. That sounds good. But I've been looking into it the first time, and I kind of want to take the plunge and start getting some and see how I like that format. And there's just something about a hardback book that's they're just thick, and stable. You put them on the shelf and they make a statement, with these big books. So I think they're pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. There is an appeal to it. Absolutely. And an Omnibus Edition. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when I did the first volume with Peter, I was like, I have more story, and I'd love to eventually do like a tome, something from like, the medieval times, like those illuminated manuscripts. Peter was like, done. It's like, sold. I would love to do that. He goes, well, we're going to have to use Indiegogo. And I was like, I'm okay with that. Because he was like, that would be expensive.
Would he publish that? I haven't been here, but how would that work? Would it be like Alterna on the book, or is it like you're publishing it?
Yeah, I just thought of that. It would have to be. It would have to be, because that's the Alterna book. Because Wirehead is right now, as of now, is not an Alterna book. Because I see Roland said, do you plan on reissuing this after the campaign? I'm assuming he means like break it up into issues. Is that what he means?
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know. Yeah, let us know, Roland.
Because if Peter, and we're discussing it, we want to see how everything goes with Wirehead. Peter would like to take Wirehead and break it up into 3 issues if all goes well. So we'll see what the response is. But yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. With part of the model that's sort of emerging here is that you get to kind of test the market first and see how it works with crowdfunding, and if people are interested in it. And if that's the case, then you can be a little bit more confident in these kind of other publishing risks, additional publishing risks. So
right, yeah, you want to make sure that there's an audience for it, and I think there's an audience for everything. But is your project something they want to support? So it's stressful at the same time.
Yeah. It absolutely is. It's very stressful. Even when it doesn't matter. Like it's so weird, but when it comes to like Downcast, it's like both campaigns have been very successful. I've been very happy with the results of them.
Right.
And at the same time, oh, my wife's bringing me ice cream. This is awesome.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, life is good.
What flavor?
This is she went to Sonic. It's a blast. It's I always get peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter. So this is
hell yeah.
Yeah, this is Reese's.
Oh, dude.
So that'll be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. I saw ice cream and lost it.
See what happens.
Stressful. Oh yeah, it's crazy because like with Downcast, being that the costs were just completely different.
Yeah.
It's very much an indie book. You know, and doing something like that, it was, and especially being the first go, it was like, if I can print the book, it's a success.
Yeah.
And but it was still stressful the whole time up until the last minute. Even now, I just saw I got another backer, so thank you, whoever backed for Downcast. That's great, but then it's still like, are people like, it's just this stress level. And then with Fatal, even though it's wildly successful by any metric, it's been doing fantastic, but it's still stressful because the expectations of it are so much higher.
Oh, of course. Yes, without doubt.
So I don't know. It's just part of the game, I guess. I wonder if I'll ever get used to it.
Yeah, no, it's true. And that's something that one of my favorite writers is Michael Crichton. And he did an interview before he passed, and they asked him, so does every book get easier? He was like, no, harder. Because now there's expectations to every book. And I was like, I have to try and meet those expectations. So it's like, it's actually different. Like it's easier because I know how to make one in the format and process. My process is easier. But in terms of like the stress level and the mental stuff, it's harder.
Yeah, it's totally strange and random. But first let me hit this though. Looked it up. It's because it's important. Omnibuses. Thank you.
Okay.
Everyone says they just assume at the end, like syllabi. I've already gone over this. They're syllabuses. They're not syllabi, and it has to do with where the word came from. But all the faculty I know still say syllabi, and I think many of them know that it's not correct. But because everyone says it, you have to. Yeah. Do you say syllabi?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
It's wrong. Yeah. But everyone says syllabi.
Syllabuses.
Syllabuses. And it has to do, I can't specifically remember, but it comes down to, is it Greek or Latin or something like that? And the origin of the word dictates how you would, say it in a plural way. So
that's really interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, there's fun fact, but I'll say syllabi too because of peer pressure. Because then everybody will say, no, you're saying it wrong. And then I don't want to be the guy that's like, well, actually,
Yeah.
So anyway.
No, that's funny. I have to now tell all of my colleagues, the head of the department, we need to have a meeting immediately. We can't stand for this syllabi nonsense.
You're gonna find, so I've seen like a few articles online that make cases for both, but it's like if you track it down, I mean, anyway, Publish and Pete wants to be.
I see.
Wrench. I'll get you a wrench. That's for sure. It's a busy night for streaming. Everybody is streaming, and their mother, and their dog. It looks like,
and the cat.
It's a packed house. All right, so Publish and Pete, you are added as moderator. I don't know why I haven't done that before, but there you go. Now you have the power. Okay.
I have the power.
So I wanted to bring up, I went on a huge tangent, but we were talking a little bit about horror, and Blood Realm is very much horror. It is also kind of like Lord of the Rings, but a horror kind of slant to it, I guess is how I would describe it.
It's true.
Very, very cool comic because it's not like your typical comic. That's what's so fun about it.
Right.
And then here with Wirehead, you're doing horror again.
Yes.
What is it about horror? Look at the hiccups. What is it about horror that draws you to it, that you've got these stories to tell?
I think it puts us in kind of uncomfortable situations, but it's fun because they're fantasy settings. So we don't feel like it's like, oh my God, this is too close to home. You know what I mean? It's like you could enter this world and you can escape in it a little bit easier. I think that's the beauty. It's almost like with fables going all the way back from the beginning of time, when they would have these little moral lessons. But when you have animals that speak, you kind of enter the world a little bit easier, and the message gets kind of across easier too, because it's not two people, but because it's a fantasy setting, you're kind of like, oh, let me see what this is about. Okay, this is cool. So there's something about that stuff, because I feel like sometimes, I don't know if it was intended that way, with slasher films, but they almost have like a morality, theme to it. Like it's like morality tale.
That's
Like,
true. No, it's kind of funny when you think about it.
yeah,
It's almost like really, old fairy tales that were they're just horrifying. You know what I mean? And they're
yeah,
cautionary tales for kids, and like, this is why you do this or whatever. We'll cut your thumbs. This creature will cut your thumbs off if you pick your
yes.
nose or something. Whatever.
Oh, that was the I forgot his name. That creature. That's the German children's book you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember what it is.
It's the kid. It's the kid in the front on the cover with his long hair and long nails that they look like Nosferatu, because the kid wouldn't cut his nails, so he looks like this freakish thing. And then I forgot the one with the clipper, the one who sucks your thumbs. If you suck your thumbs, this guy's going to come out of frame into the frame and
Just chop your thumbs off.
and at the end, the kid is like this, no thumbs, blood bursting out. And it's like, this was like an 18 something. Is the first children's book or something like that.
It's funny, and I'll catch myself doing similar things in that, like, you got to brush your teeth, at night, to the kids.
Yeah.
I just went through this routine, getting their teeth brushed, making, everyone's gone to the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. But I remember it'd be like, you got to brush your teeth. And they're like, I don't see the, right, okay, I'm going to pull up Google images. I'm going to show you pictures of people that have not brushed their teeth.
Right.
You Google that, it is terrifying. You'll see some terrible examples, but it's like, here's a little bit of real world.
Right.
And then they brush they're okay. I understand. I'm brushing my teeth. So,
Yes.
it works on some level.
You have to do it. You have to. It's okay.
Do you find also in horror that you kind of have more freedom in the story, because it can, you can do more with it? There's no expectations.
Right.
Yeah. See, often seems like in Western storytelling, especially, you got to figure out how to have a happy ending. You got to, like, people they have these things they're used to seeing, but in a horror, you don't. Everyone could die at the end. That's a very real possibility all the time.
Well, that's the good horror. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like lately horror is like I even had a discussion with Pete when we were talking about all these horror movies just ending everything neatly with a bow, and everything's okay and it's a sunset. I'm like, no, it should be messed up. Like, you think you're safe, and then there's a horrible ending. Not horrible, but something that leaves you on edge when you're leaving that theater. Like, oh, that was I didn't expect that. That's the fun stuff. So. But horror is a lot of fun, because some of the best stuff is the stuff in the short stories that aren't explained. That's It's like cool. Sometimes you don't need to explain why the ghost is in the house. There's a ghost in the house, and that's it. You're in that situation. It's about dealing with that situation. You're in their shoes. You're not going to go and find out what this ghost wants. You're trying to survive it. And I think that's kind of the good stuff. That's why I love the movie The Mist. Have you ever seen the movie The Mist?
Yes. So the ending, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I mean, it's been out for a while, right? So we can spoil it, but it's the decision, right? Where you're talking about where he shoots, they decide their suicide pact, basically.
Yeah, and leading up to yes, exactly. But and also the characters in that film, you kind of like, all right, it's fun to imagine who you would be if you've never seen the film, and you kind of like, oh, am I going to survive? Because I kind of relate to this guy, and then if that guy gets killed, you're like, ah, crap, I would have been dead in that situation. So it's a lot of fun with that film, and they do things that you kind of would be like, yeah, I could see that happening. So when I see The Mist, I could totally see that stuff happening in real life.
Yeah. There's a logical sense to it, and
Right.
I think another one of the things that I really one of the things about horror, things that I love most about certain horror, is that it's not really about horror, and that becomes apparent. Like it's an allegory for something else, and
Right.
you can get pretty artsy with horror, and I don't think it gets enough credit for what kind of storytelling that you are allowed to do in horror because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I even think of sorry, I'm multitasking here. I'm also backing Wirehead.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm really excited about this. But so part of it is that okay, the Babadook. I don't know if you've seen that
Oh, I
one.
love that film. They're
Great
themes. Oh yeah.
And if I broke it down, it's really about grief. And
Oh,
you have you look at it and you don't know for certain if this is real, they're real events,
yes.
or this is a family going through and trying to cope with the death of their father, the father in the family.
Oh, the husband. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yes. And it's affecting the child and the mother differently and how they deal with it. And it's so messed up.
Oh yeah.
And then the way that it ends, I don't want to spoil it. It's on Netflix, I think. It's I think an Australian film. But the way that it ends is it's more of, it's not really a happy ending. It's you're coping with this thing that is still there.
Right.
And so I don't know, it's like that says something about grief. I don't think you could do that in any other kind of genre. Horror is the perfect place to do that.
Yeah, because horror is kind of like the gateway into that stuff. Because first, you go for the spooks and the scares, and then you have these relatable situations and these characters, and then you have this message that starts to come out. I just feel like it kind of, it's almost like a sneak attack in a good way, with the themes and everything like that. Because what's cool about that film is that you can say that it was real, or you could say it wasn't. I think that's what's so much fun.
Right. Absolutely. I'm going to refresh Wirehead because I backed it, so I'm confident that it'll go up at least one. But I also see here,
Comics Gator, thank you so much.
Just backed, looks fun. Blood Rim is very unique.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
so we'll refresh that and see where you're at. 2601.
Oh, whoa!
We're moving, making progress. That's great.
Holy shoot! Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will again post a link here. I realize everyone's streaming. We don't have a huge turnout tonight, so
that's okay. That's okay.
But we'll get the word out.
Wow, I really appreciate that, guys. Really. That's awesome.
And then also, let's see. I'm not going to refresh Fatal. I just have to check my email first. I could refresh Downcast. I got a backer there.
Wow. Oh, wait, you're in demand on that?
Yeah, I left it in demand, and I've got. This is something we could just talk about live too. I'm trying to figure out what to do because I've got 2 books now, and I wish I would have printed probably 200 more copies of the number 1 because I'm kind of running out of them. So that feels bad. That's a bit of a problem. I don't really want to go back to print, especially because it's going through Alterna and it's going to get printed there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think you can then.
Yeah. So it's like I just got to let it go. But I don't know. It's an interesting problem to kind of run into. So I'm kind of thinking, obviously this wouldn't be anytime soon. This will be down the road because I really want Alterna to be I'll be sending people to go to Alterna to get the book.
Yeah.
But down the road, compiling things, it's like, should I just make a trade paperback that is, Downcast 1 and 2 together because they're a story arc, or should I just wait until I finish? I've got another story arc I'm planning with Downcast. Should I just wait and kind of do what you're doing and do this big, thick book, make it all one big thing?
Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you may have to wait because, I'm not quite sure in terms of like the publishing rights, with Alterna and everything like that. So you may have to do that after, maybe once they're all out with Alterna. I don't know if you want to do Giants also. Don't forget, you could also do the Alterna Giant.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think, for certain, even if I combined the first 2, we wouldn't be talking anytime soon. It'd be a long time away.
Sure, yeah.
But then it's like, if you're gonna wait that long, maybe just do a big fat hardback or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's good that I just have to, I don't know, I can think about it, I guess. So here's a question from you, from Oland. Earlier, I was asking if Wirehead will be re-released in any for at all, not just floppies, or any form at all, maybe?
Any form.
Or format.
Okay.
Not just floppy. So is Wirehead floppy? Is that the okay?
Yeah. No, yeah. Wirehead is a trade paperback.
Okay. How many pages? Oh, this is 80 pages.
Yeah, it's probably going to go over a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, this is a sizable. This is a legit graphic novel.
Oh yeah.
But then possibly, depending on how this does, you're open to publishing through Alterna.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I would love for Peter to take it. I know he's been helping me. I mean, he designed the logo. He did a phenomenal job with the logo of Wirehead. I think it's just so iconic. Because and then he was like, "Here, and here's a logo, another version for a T-shirt. I'd like a T-shirt." And I was like, "Oh, so you want me to do this so you can have a T-shirt?" Yeah,
that's cool.
I didn't think people would get, but people are. I mean, I think it's awesome, but I guess it's my first time putting a T-shirt on a crowdfunder, but people want that.
Yeah, this is my first T-shirt. I've had the logo Downcast T-shirts on a Teespring store before, and nobody has bought them.
Yeah,
and that's fine. But I was unsure. I was kind of timid about making a T-shirt for Fatal, but we've sold like 18, 20, something like that of them.
Oh, okay.
So that's nice. But I think a big part of it is making it an actual T-shirt design, which this is great for, because it's not just a square or like, here's a comic page that's just posted on a shirt. It looks a little awkward. So having it like this, where it's sort of incorporated into the T-shirt, is just a better design. So
yeah, no, I agree. It's just that, and again, that was Peter's idea. He helped me out with that, and the minimal, sometimes less is more for a T-shirt design, and I really dig the way, because it's very metal looking.
Oh yeah, that totally, like the black T-shirt thing. That's what I would have worn in high school, you know, with the logo on the front, black T-shirt. That was like my whole wardrobe, just about.
Yeah,
that's the way to go. Mandible Smasher for $5. Thank you very much. Says, how many personal copies of their work do creators tend to keep for themselves?
That's a good question.
It's a great question. I'll have you, Rob, answer first. You've been published before through a publisher. How does that work? Are you? I know you're getting comp copies, but are you buying additional ones?
I buy them. So I buy more from obviously Peter, so in the publisher, so I can have more to sell. But I just keep one of each. I know guys who keep more, but I just do one of each, and sometimes I don't know. I'd rather other people get it. I like having the giants more, the compendiums. It's weird for me because if I feel like I have an issue, I feel like someone could have this and read it, and it could evolve into other issues. So that's
it's kind of weird collecting your own books too. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not that kind of person.
I honestly, I've got more Downcast 2s than Downcast 1s, just because I wasn't very smart with how I printed things, apparently. But it's like, when I have all those extra number 2s, I don't know if I get, I don't know. I'll figure out what to do. All this depends on how I'm going to be printing in the future. But I don't know. I'm not like, I don't want to hang on to them. But I did, like, when the Alterna books are coming out, I want to make sure I have a bunch in my possession so that I can sell them myself. And someday I want to make it to a convention and sit across the table and be selling those books. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Sure.
But that's the goal, though. End goal is not to keep them, is to sell them.
Right. No, that is ultimately, and that's why I guess it's hard for me to collect from my own stuff. It's just like I want to get it all out. Maybe because I'm also a clean freak. I don't know. Oh, Eric, thank you so much. Back in number 59. Right. Oh my God, almost at 60 backers. That's fantastic.
Might have to get a T-shirt. Well, we're gonna refresh it. There we go. The number, it keeps climbing.
Oh, that's awesome.
58 backers.
58. That's weird. He says number 59.
There's probably the backer number is going to be different than how many backers you have, because
really?
I'm guessing you had one refund, like
Oh,
exactly one
got it.
refund.
Oh, okay.
And so people backing it's way off. I've had so many refunds, and a lot of it is because people will back it and then they decide, I actually want this other tier, so they'll refund it and then back at the other tier.
Oh, and that counts. It's so, and the backer number count doesn't readjust.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
And that way, so it's still a unique number for each transaction, basically.
oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got it.
So some of the little eccentricities of crowdfunding.
Oh, good to know. Okay, all right. So hopefully that person went back in.
Yeah, and I did notice you had add-ons. So
Yeah.
you could technically add, I don't know if you do everything as an add-on, but you could sort of customize whatever, back whatever tier you want and customize it and put the add-ons in there. So,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No,
absolutely.
the add-ons is great. The whole feature of Indiegogo, it's so much better than Kickstarter from when I use it way back. And I found out that Kickstarter is pretty much the same since then.
Yeah. So with you, so this being your first crowdfunding campaign
With Indiegogo, I did one with
Indiegogo
in kindergarten with Kickstarter. Wait, but I was ahead of the game, man.
What was it a comic in Kickstarter? Is that the route
It
you went?
was it was kind of a comic, but it was a children's book comic. It was called Little Maya.
Oh yeah.
I think I mentioned it to you, right? It's
Yeah.
a wordless children's book. So
Right.
yeah, so it was for that. And I don't know, I just feel like this is much more intuitive, and there's more of a comics community here. It's just I dig it. It feels like indie. I like it.
Yeah. I like it too. And they update things too. That's one of my problems with Kickstarters. It doesn't seem like it's been the same for so long. I don't know. There's just little things they can update. But with you kind of going to Indiegogo the first time, this is really into comics. What are some of the things that you wish you could have done, or some of the things that you learned? I guess I'll say that. Some of the things you learned going into this so far.
I will say a crowdfund. You don't run a crowdfunder runs you. So in every facet, it's like you have to control yourself. You have to step outside, not take your phone with you, when you're walking outside, because then you're going to be checking and refreshing, little things like that. But so far it's Peter has been really generous with his time. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have been able to get this going if it weren't for him and his generous time afterwards, our streams. And he would say, all right, let me see how it's going. I'll say, Peter, you mind? I have a couple of questions. How do you think this looks? And I'm not a person who has an ego. So if he thinks I need to change something, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, what the hell, man? Give me a break. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I trust him because he's done this a lot more than me. So, and again, he's awesome with his time, and that's what more can you ask for?
He's been great, and that's one of the things for me too is getting into it. I just noticed how free he was with information.
Oh my God!
Even on his YouTube channel, there aren't trade secrets. It's like, this is how you do it. And so listening to him, first watching his channel, and then when I started talking to him, he's just been so great with helping out with specific advice and things like that. And so I don't know, he's been one that I just think he's so great for indie comics creators.
Oh, dude, honestly, he's like the Vince McMahon of comics. He's the hardest working guy in this industry that I know. I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah,
the hardest working dude. Ethan's working really hard too. Don't get me wrong.
Sure. I mean, a lot of people are working hard. You're getting 50 cents for that one too. So,
oh yes,
your work is not going unnoticed.
Thank God. I see. Amy says, "Take care of yourself and have a sandwich." Yeah, no, that's I'm eating more than. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to start doing that. Clint, you get a quarter because Rob spoke up first.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's one of the strange things in the comic book industry. for me at first I had such a difficult time finding community. I was really just looking for like a writers group
same.
or something.
Dude, yeah.
So hard, and people are so, the mindset I think for a lot of creators is, if you're getting work or if something good is happening to you, then that's one job I don't have.
Yes.
Maybe that's a bit of the mindset. And so it was, to me, just very difficult, and it felt really lonely. I think I wasn't very good at getting plugged in, and networking correctly. It took me a while,
Yeah.
but once I did, it was like, Peter's been really helpful. I gotta say, Ethan Van Sciver he's the first pro to spotlight me, and I just had a little YouTube channel, no book.
Yeah.
But he gave me the time of day, and he helped me get a leg up, basically.
No,
And so, and
big
after
deal.
that, there have been more, and so I got to be grateful to that. But that's, I don't know, now it just seems like there's so many people that are eager and realizing, oh, if you help creators out,
Yeah.
they'll help you out, and it makes just for a
Right.
better environment all around.
This, I'll be honest, this is the industry I always wanted to be a part of, or how I always dreamed it would have been. Because when I was a kid and then when interning at Marvel, it's like the more I got into the quote industry that we know of, the more depressing it was, because everyone was so out for themselves. Everyone was just so, the doors were shut, and you had to kiss this person's butt and all this stuff. It was just so incredibly just sickening, and I couldn't take it, and it just turned me off so much. And then no one guiding you in terms of like, hey, how do I I don't know what I'm doing. My college didn't educate me on contracts, yeah, whatever, and it's just like I'm getting screwed because what? Am I a threat to you? It's like I'm just this little creator who has no idea what he's doing. He just loves comics and wants to make them, but no one was very, it was rare for people to be generous with their time, and I just noticed a lot of egos, and it was very upsetting. It was very upsetting.
Right. And I'm trying to get better at I get a lot of requests a lot to, hey, promote my book, or will you read my book? Will you read my script? Will you, this kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't have time, and I have to set up boundaries.
No, that's hard. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm going to tell, this person that I don't have time for them. And that's hard for me to do. But what I'm going to do is give them hopefully some really good advice, the advice that I would need at their stage.
Yes. Yeah, of course. You have to like help within your,
right.
I can't read scripts either. It's impossible.
I know.
I barely have time to write my own. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much time in a day, and it flies like this. So yeah, it's helping them in like, even in the littlest way. And as weird as that sounds, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah. And it's helpful if you listen to those kind of things. And again, with Peter, at first it was like, you just watch his YouTube channel. He's free with the information.
Yeah, it's out there.
He's got, you just listen to it. Start there. If you have specific questions you're not getting, be really kind about it. Ask those questions, and I'm not necessarily, promoting Peter's time, but I'm saying anybody, me, ask a question and you're likely to get an answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime someone's like, hey, how do I get started? What do I do this? Then it's like, all right, let me guide this person in the right direction, because I've been there and no one helped me with that stuff, so that's different. But like reading a script is very difficult. That's the hard thing.
It is. And then giving feedback on it when you don't know the person, that's rough, because it's like, do you really want me to go full on, or
right? I don't know you.
But I trust editors more. Like, I'm paying you to be completely honest with me and make this book the best that it can be.
Right.
So I want your honest opinion. That's what I want.
Right.
And I can prove it because I'm paying you to do so.
Yes.
So that's helpful. But yeah, I don't know, it can be really tough. You just don't know how they're going to take it. So
no, you don't.
Resident Antagonist says, I found Sweetcast through that EVS stream and stayed because he speaks so calmly.
He does speak very calmly.
That's I think a double-edged sword. Some people like it, some people hate it, but I appreciate you like it. So does Robert.
Oh.
Now that I think about it, Indie Comics ASR team. Sorry, we could be the
ASMR.
ASMR. You heard of that? It's
No.
where like people whisper in the microphone, like really good microphones, and they whisper like "go to sleep" or stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of weird.
Back Wirehead.
Yeah, we could, the Wirehead stream.
Here you go.
Yeah, there's some of that. Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, people have been like, it's like NPR, but just comics. You know. So
yeah,
I
there
don't
you go.
know. We'll go with it. Well, that works. Cool. I'm glad people like it.
Yeah.
What's this? Rip
the
the
Band-Aid.
Band-Aid, Clint. No mercy. I don't know. Oh, you talked about helping people? Is that I don't
Oh yeah, I think so.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why I figure I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna read your script. So I really don't have time for it.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Somebody also asked me, this was a month or so ago, hey, can you work on as a consultant for my crowdfunding campaign? You know, I want you like there, like on the team consulting. And I'm like, I have no idea, man. Crowdfunding's so hard. And I'm still so unsure. Like it just didn't seem right. But he's like, no, I want to pay you for it. And I won't even know what to charge for something like that. It was just
Interesting.
strange, but I'm like, I don't mind helping how I can, but I don't know. I got to think about that one. It's difficult to see how all this works together, but
yeah. I wouldn't even know either. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I think a lot of people are looking to minimize risk with crowdfunding, and that gets overlooked a lot. And that there is risk involved, and sometimes you can, I think if you're smart, if you want to try crowdfunding and it's your first time, expect that whatever money you put into it initially, you're just going to lose, and just be okay with that.
Right.
You figure you're paying for a learning experience. You're going to spend $1,000 or, sometimes a lot more than that.
Sure.
Just expect it's gone, and that's a better way to think about things.
You have to. It's you have to spend money to lose. No, I'm sorry. You have to spend money to make money.
That's
spend money to lose money. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. But if you can do that and sort of just be like, hey, we're just going to do this. We're going to learn. And then don't try to shortcut it. It's really, really hard to get lots of people to back your book,
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to get people to click like and subscribe on a YouTube channel, and it costs them nothing. But you think about that, you're going to have an even smaller fraction of people that are going to be willing to pay money on your campaign.
I know. That's like they're giving me their hard-earned money, and like the idea of talking down to these people is beyond me. It's just like, why would you? These people are buying the things that you're writing, and they could be doing that. They could use that money on other things, and you're going to be a jerk. The hell with that.
Yeah,
get out of here.
I know it's crazy, and to say like, oh, I don't want, if you voted this way or that way, I don't want you buying my book.
My book. What?
It's like, why?
Come on, man.
Why create? There's enough. It's so divided already. Like there's enough small silos in comics. I don't want to give people another reason. I want you to back my book. We don't have to. People. Right. See, Roland says we're all like reminiscing now. Roland says I discovered Clint during my time diving into the Comicsgate rabbit hole and stayed because of his fair and level views.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
He's normal, dude. It was a refreshing thing too. When I finally got the chapter, I was like, this guy's normal. Thank God.
Yeah, I guess. Eric, that's what we're doing. This is actually helpful market research for me too.
Oh, very good.
To figure out why people. For me, it was like, it was actually the Law videos. It was Ricada Law. He was the first one that I saw videos from.
I saw some of his stuff, yeah.
And I was like, oh, who's this guy? And then it was the introduction to incredibly long live streams. Mm-hmm. And I could not understand that. I understand it a little bit more, but not completely. Like live streams get so long, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Let's see. Peter's saying one more backer to 60. So that means,
oh my God, that's great.
Let's refresh this again. 59 backers.
Oh
yeah.
close. My God, this
So
is the most stressful thing in the world.
I know and it just they kind of come a little bit at a time. In this case, it's like, you got 33%. You're still within the first 48 hours. What time of day was it that you launched the campaign?
It was 12 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay. So you still have, so this will be tomorrow at 12 p.m. is 48 hours then.
Yes.
So 48 hours, we'll see where you land. They say, I don't think I really believe this really. So take it with a grain of salt, but they say that you get about a third in the first 48 hours of what you're going to end up ultimately getting.
Oh, okay.
I've seen so many examples that are far less and far more. So I don't know how much I trust that metric, but but it's a thing. That's what they say. So we'll see. I think this is totally within reach. This is very, very doable. So getting that $8,000, and then especially if you go in demand, I don't know if that's a plan or not, but
I don't even know how does that work. I guess you could tell me right here. So like, do you have to have your campaign funded first and then it goes in demand?
Yeah. So there's a button I'm not gonna 100% sure say, but I think that you have to opt into it before you launch. I could be wrong. So you would go into your campaign editor, and I think it's way down at the bottom. There's like the extras, like right at the end before you launch it. And there's a question about in demand, and basically there's just a checkbox if you want it to automatically go in demand when your campaign is over. So I would look into that and make sure it's checked, because I think going into demand is worth it, at least even just for a week. It's worth it.
Sure. Yeah. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah. So I think it's a good idea. But yeah, totally reachable, and ultimately it's the people that will decide.
I know. Oh God. It's like that scene in Gladiator where it's like and I'm just like, come on.
It's scary.
It is. I just clicked like Clint. Your psychology worked.
I don't know how. I appreciate it. Oh, that's right. I said it. How hard is it to click the like button? I'm not very good. Charlie will tell me sometimes, hey man, when I watch people do live streams like Nerdrotic or whomever, they do such a great job of saying, hey, hit like and subscribe. You should do that. I really should do that. And then I just won't do it. I don't know why.
All right.
Here's another one from Comics Gator. He said, I went online because I was so dissatisfied with the Marvel books I was reading. I found your boy, and he was identifying what was wrong with SJW books. Bright side is I found Alterna, Ethan, etc.
Oh yeah.
YouTube's been seriously clutch. Like for me personally, it's been huge because I couldn't find, again, it was so hard to network with people. I was using Facebook to try and figure out, what my thing was, and people were kind of mean. I'll be honest.
They were. They are.
They would like box you out, and it felt like, what do I have to do, to get?
Like you're not welcome in our club. That's how it always felt.
Yeah, there's this one guy I remember. I asked him, "Hey, it's hard to find an artist," and this is generally what people ask me. It's hard to find an artist. I'm a writer. How do I find an artist? I have such better answers. But back then, I was asking, and this guy was like, he was an editor. He knew artists and stuff, and he said, "I will refer you to an artist if you can send out a press release or whatever and get my magazine talked about in 10 different placements," because I went to school for public relations. So if you get 10 placements for my press release, then I will refer you. I'll give you the name of an artist that may or may not work with you.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? So you want me to put in who knows how much effort to get your thing out there just so that you can refer me to an artist that may or may, just giving me a name. It's just silly.
I need to smack.
It's messed up the more I think about it, because now I'd be like, oh, if there's I know an artist, I know an artist that needs some work, that does pretty good stuff. I'm going to tell everybody. Usually it's the other way around. You have lots of writers that want artists, but the artists, they're out there too.
Dude, so weird. I have no idea why it has that vibe. The industry, it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Any other normal industry, hey, can we network? You know, it's like
Right.
it's like they want everything for themselves. It almost feels like it's so strange.
It's this desperate protection, I guess, or it's like
Yes,
in trying so hard to cling on to what you have. So you're actually alienating yourself when you do that.
completely. I never got that stuff. I never got that. It was very strange. Even interning, I was like, this isn't what I thought it'd be.
No, comics will break your heart, kid. Right? Isn't
That's
that
right. Yeah,
that Jack Kirby's quote?
it is. You're
Resident
right.
Antagonist. So I look back at Downcast 2, 10K earned in demand, 31K in the initial campaign.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, sounds right. That and though those represent months, obviously, before it came out, but the cool thing is, like, about with me, I'm such a small channel,
Mhm.
and you can earn money just by you continuing to make videos anyway. So you might as well be selling your book during that time. So
Oh yeah,
if
absolutely.
if we end up 80 85K somewhere, something like that, at least I'm hoping,
Oh,
with
that's
with Fatals, then I think over time I think we can get to 100. I think it's totally possible.
yeah. I
We'll
can see that.
see. We'll see. I'd love to hit 100K. It's a definitely symbolic number, but gosh, it's still like right now 70. Even getting 75 is just crazy.
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine 8,000 for me. So it's like, like your numbers. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Again, it's the costs are totally different, but
Of course, no, they are. They are because yours is full color. So how does that work? Because you're having a full color version, and then you're going to have an artist edition.
yeah.
So it should be cheaper to print the black and white one, right? Or is it not because of gray tones? Or no, that shouldn't be right.
If it's completely black and white, we're looking at doing some effects to it, possibly kind of like this, so it looks like a almost sepia, looks like a real page.
Yeah,
If
right.
we do that, then we're printing in color basically, because this isn't really a
Oh,
gray tone.
it's not a gray tone. Oh man, just do a gray tone.
But yeah, I don't know that we are necessarily going to do that. I want to compare prices, but yeah, it's like 2 print runs of, you know,
Yeah,
nice books, everything. So
that's the one I want to get, the artist edition.
yeah, and we're adding those book plates into. I was just thinking, how can we pump this one up more so that it really stands for its name, Collector's Bundle. And I got a lot of good feedback from most everybody except for Rob, the Australian, Replicator Rob. I'll have him
Oh,
on tomorrow night.
okay. I was like,
Replicator. He was just trolling me. He's funny. Anyway, but yeah, adding stuff like t-shirts, that's not that big of a deal though. You can do small print runs. So yeah, everyone got drawn into the book too. That's great. Anyway, it's exciting. It's stressful,
oh yeah.
but it really is. It's cool that I just see a future. I don't know. I've been trying to put together a 5-year plan
Mhm.
for comics and what exactly I'm planning to
Same.
do.
Yeah,
And it's kind of exciting to see the possibilities open up.
sure.
And, if I'm getting more confident with this, I'm going to plan some bigger books, and
Oh
then
yeah.
do some bigger stuff, which is great. It's also terrifying at the same time. Still
Yeah,
terrifying.
it is because at the end of the day, you're still gonna hit that launch button, and it's always a mystery of what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, but I guess you have to take risks and try it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. That's the whole thing. Everything we
absolutely.
do is a risk.
Yeah. I just kind of accept it and I don't know, move forward. So
I know.
anyway,
I'm in the earn the favor of the people phase with Wired because it's the first one. So I have to like show them I can do this, I can fulfill it successfully. So it's you got to earn that trust kind of thing.
that's a good way to start doing it. I think it's smart. It's just sort of baby steps, and you kind of consider the first. You never know what's going to happen. I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be like my 5th campaign or something that just I can't. It'll just be a massive failure. I don't know, but you just I don't know. Kind of expect that could happen.
Oh god.
But I don't know. It's cool. I imagine that it builds up over time. One thing I've been very happy with is just being allowed the opportunity to build a reputation, and you start without anything published, and it's so hard. How do you get published the first time? It's so difficult.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But you keep putting books out, and it just gives you credibility. You keep plugging away, and I think it just makes people more confident in your abilities. So
sure, no, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. But then it could blossom from there. So I got to put the hard work into it first.
Yeah, that's right. And I still wonder, like, when is this? I feel like I'm starting to get out of the internship phase of comics making. Right. I just thought of it as I'm an intern. I'm going to be doing this as an intern. So I'm not going to get paid. If there's extra money, I'm just reinvesting it. Right. And, I'll push forward. But now I'm like, I get past the, we'll get in the straight up business phase, and I can be a little bit more selective. And
sure, you want to level up.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so Wirehead is on Indiegogo right now. I think we'll probably close off the stream here pretty soon, but why don't you give us a pitch for the book?
Sure. It's about a cybernetic beast that terrorizes these unsuspecting teens in the Pocono Mountains. So look out if you live in the Poconos, because he's out there. And it's an homage again to all those great slasher films we love. There's a great sci-fi vibe to it. I love when the two genres meet. For me specifically, sci-fi and horror. I think it's like peanut butter and jelly. So just adding a little pepper of the slasher genre to it, I think is something that I think you guys would really dig. We're gonna have a wild ride. It's gonna be an awesome 80-pager. The pacing is great, and the characters are relatable, and I think that's key. One thing that I don't like with later slasher films is that it was just all about the killing and not really about the characters. You want to have that balance of both, So I have these characters that the second we meet them, you can understand the situation. And in fact, we've probably all been there, in the car with people, arguing and stuff like that. You guys will see, because there's an interesting dynamic between these sisters and the boyfriend, and then they meet other campers out there in the Pocono Mountains, and of course Wirehead is out there stalking them.
So cool. Very creepy. That's one of the creepiest things too for me, is being out in the woods at nighttime.
Yeah,
that's genuine. That is creepy.
Oh yeah. And I had my grandmother, my grandparents, my grandfather passed, and my grandmother stayed out there in the Poconos until she passed, and it was just always so creepy driving out there. You would look back and you just wouldn't see. It would just be blackness. I'm just like, why don't these people believe in streetlights? I don't get it. Like, how is there not like a death every day on this road? It's like so creepy.
Somebody's gonna get murdered out here.
Oh my God. Weird stuff happens to me when I used to drive up there. I mean, every time I would park my car, there would be some kind of like winged creature that I must have driven into what was flying by, and it was just a huge bat that must have went for an hour ride. I don't know how long he was on that thing, but he was dead. But I'm like, what lurks out here?
Yeah. Well, you just passed 60 backers. Now you're at 60 backers. So you got picked up another one. That's fantastic.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So thanks everybody for watching. I love it because it makes me look good when people back when it's on my stream. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fatal's here. I posted the link as well. If you haven't backed it, please do. I've got to believe though, of the people watching, you've either backed it or you're not going to back it. We're kind of at that point. But if you haven't and you're a tease, then why not just give it, make the jump, help us get to 75K. And I really appreciate it. So Rob, I think it's always great talking to you. It's been great to chat with you. And I think what I want to do is more of like an alternate night.
Sure.
That it'd be kind of fun if we bounced it around even, and it went from like my stream, your stream, Peter's stream, or even if it was just like the creators, the cats, whatever we want to do, like we could, I think that'd be fun, and we should definitely I want to keep Alterna, the network strong, I guess.
Oh yeah,
is what I'm saying.
oh definitely. I have to say, the Alterna guys have been, everyone's awesome. It's just been so cool. You know, it's everyone's so supportive. You know, especially with doing the prints and everything like that. It's everyone's so excited about it. They're spreading the word. It's just, it feels like an awesome little group. You know, it's growing, and I love it. And the fans are even better. So I couldn't ask for anything more, man. This is exactly what I wanted from the industry. Cool publisher, cool co-creators, awesome fans. This is it.
Yeah, it really is. It's a fun time to be making comics. You know,
Yeah.
it's great. All right, so appreciate it. We'll have you on again for sure. Good luck with the campaign. Try to get some sleep at night.
I'm gonna try.
For me, it takes a few days into the campaign before you're tired enough to get the sleep because it's just running. But congratulations. I think you're off to a good start, and I think you know, fans willing, I totally think you're going to get there. So
thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll see you all in the next video.